to be honest, I was less excited about that beta weekend and went to it kind of half-heartedly. Didn't even stress out about queuing up early and all of that, being pleasantly surprised that actually there were no queues this time, and took a good night's sleep over doing the foul Bachelor Frog Friday routine, and maybe because of that, I actually kind of enjoyed the Server Slam weekend, even though I was questioning its purpose in the beginning, and I still am, by the way. Why the hell would we want to go over Act 1 again, this time not being able to spec our ults, fight the world boss 5 levels above us, get chopped in half by the butcher again, find loot for level 20 plus from certain rares, not being able to equip it, do the same boring sellers all over again, and I don't know, but felt kind of pleasant, or at least the game did for what it is. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not about to say it's made 180 and that it's about to subvert our expectations, dethrone PoE or anything like that. GGG has been setting a pace that only they could keep up with, and no other fledgling, albeit it carrying the burden of its franchise, could make a difference. It's still a fundamentally flawed system that many of us don't agree with, and many claim that it is designed to evolve around predatory monetization, but someone out there is trying, really trying. But the Server Slam, first off, it was just that, a stress test. The game performed well, no queues, I experienced zero stability issues, zero lag, no invisible barriers or anything like that. I just felt smooth, and the Act 1 experience, again, was a polished playthrough that I kinda enjoyed. But back to my previous question, what was the purpose of it? Surely, if stressing a server was the sole reason behind the whole thing, that it kind of failed, because I'm pretty sure that a lot less people bothered with it in the first place. I've had two of my friends list going online during the weekend, one on Saturday and one on Sunday, I think, so none on Friday night when it actually went live, when it actually mattered, and fewer or less would have found an incentive to go in and only to earn a cosmetic that, let's face it, it would fade into meaningless oblivion once you've got the whole cosmetic clown fiesta going full throttle a couple of months after release. So if you want to strain the servers, fill them to the brim, give people a reason to queue up. Let us taste some blood. Why not give us more skill points so that we could have tested these skill adjustments better, or give us a taste of PvP, I don't know, a small area somewhere where we could bash at each other's skulls. Maybe unlock a new area with something special in it, or as Rax said, give us the level 20 beta first and then the level 25 next time. I don't think that no queues during that Server Slam is good enough of a representation of what is to come in June. If anything, Blizzard could have benefited from showing us that the servers are indeed struggling with the flux of players and that the pay-to-play early FOMO is to some extent justified. I don't know, just a random thought. But obviously, mulling over skills and balance with what we could get our hands on in that beta is pure nonsense, as it was in the previous one, and I'd go as far as to say that these class balances would probably matter post level 50 or something. The loot drop rates were gutted, and for better or worse, the game felt more like Diablo II than anything else, with just a couple of legendaries here and there, dropping from one from the Act boss, I think, one from Ashava, and a few random ones in between, like from chests and events mostly. Now, maybe Blizzard are afraid to give us more loot. Maybe they don't want to show that loot is doomed in that game and that it cannot be fixed or will not be fixed depending on how you perceive things. Unless they freeze the whole damn thing and put another year or two into it, revisiting the whole system. But doubt that, it's just the way it is, hey. So that's what you're getting. Diablo 3's itemization, more or less. Dungeons are more or less rifts from Diablo 3 as well, so these are core decisions that had been made years ago before the announcement, before the by 3 they come masterpiece, and have been carved in stone ever since. The illusion that the game was being developed with players' feedback taken into consideration is a pipe dream, make no mistake about that, fellas. We've got these minor things along with all the unpaid for beta testing that's had us thinking that anything the community says or wants matters. Bug fixes, small quality of life fixes, tweaks, adjustments that could be executed on the fly, all of that only to make us feel that we're in control of the game's future. We're not, our money is. So, getting that out of my system, I don't know if the statement "take it for what it is and enjoy it" is a healthy approach here, but Blizzard had set some staples with their most successful IP, and that is undoubtedly World of Warcraft. And by Blizzard, I mean Blizzard post the Blizzard North era and the Blizzard we've known for in the past 20 years. And that being said, Diablo 4 will undoubtedly share some common traits with WoW. And one thing off the top of my head, people were complaining that droids and barbs are very gear dependent. Well, in WoW, you've got the same thing. Your weapon is the thing that matters most, or at least that's how I remember it in the first, the vanilla, and then the couple of expansions afterwards. But you might have also felt losing character power upon leveling up in the Burning Crusade era, if I remember correctly. So I've got little to no problems with that, or at least it felt for me in the limited beta that among the game's other flaws, that was not the main issue. I kind of like striving for something and having to brave difficulties, so if getting a new weapon is the goal, yeah, fine, that's what we're grinding for actually. But the fact that none of the other gear pieces matter at all is kind of dumb, I think. I played the druid and completing the act, facing the final boss and all of that, I just realized that I hadn't even bothered to check my gear save for my weapon slot, and it's been the only piece that I've been spending all my resources on, just re-rolling, trying out different aspects, other skills, and guess what? Nothing else mattered, just upgrading the weapon made my character move on, so overall, weapon damage, more weapon damage slash power, whatever, your character progresses, and I don't know, this is a bit weird, and it's a kind of a console thing I fear, and apart from that, there are no breakpoints, no cast speed, attack speed works for spells. I mean, what the base weapon damage applies to your spell damage. What I fear is as well that seeing how, at least from that beta, if the weapon is the only thing that your build revolves around, would that mean that we won't be seeing much support classes? Because I don't really see much aura type skills. There are certain ones that affect companions and nearby players, but they are mostly like cooldowns and shouts and stuff that breaks you out of CC and all that. So I don't know. Now, about the level scaling, I did not feel at all punished by leveling up, or at least for me, there's been a steady fluctuation in difficulty. Dungeon bosses were tougher, but the overworld felt whatever with regards to that, like skeletons, fallen. These did not pose that much of a threat, only an annoyance if you've had to traverse the same terrain over and over again for some stupid fetch quest. But a nice little workaround I can think of is having something like a fixed level scaling up to a certain point. So let's say 25 for Act 1, for like the overworld, for the random scattered mobs around the place, and with 30 for the stronghold, for example, because I could see level 30 stronghold like Cordragan was level 30, so I guess that's reasonable. So but don't make me slog through all of it like over and over again, having to face equally strong random like minions all the time. All in all, I don't think it's going to be a bad game. It may not be the game we wanted, the game some of us entitled bozos thought we deserved, but hey, it is what it is, as much as I hate saying that. And if your main concern is that the game's gonna be pay to win, I'm afraid that you gotta wait more than just a month or two after the release, because I'm pretty sure Blizzard would not shoot themselves in the foot by introducing a pay for power cash up or anything like that early on. And if something like that happened down the road, like years from now, and our fears manifested, and that would suck even more, I think, because we would have already invested into the game hours and thousands of hours, some of us, and we would have built that special place in our hearts for Diablo 4, probably, I hope, and having it ruined like that would be painful, at least. I sure hope we don't get a treatment like that, and tell me what you guys think. Do you feel like the game's in a good spot? Is it ready for release? Do you like the level scaling and all the itemization and all the systems that it's going to be introducing post-launch and all that? Of course, feel free to comment, and see you at launch, I guess.